A shakeup at Mizzou. Athletic Director Mike Alden announced today he will step down. Good afternoon. I'm Brittany Pieper.
And I'm Jim Reek. Thanks for joining us. His decision was announced in a letter to the fans about an hour ago. KOMU8's Chris Trevino is live at Mizzou Arena with the details. Chris?
Well, Mike Alden is stepping down after 17 years as Missouri Athletic Director, the second longest tenured AD in school history here. This afternoon, Alden and the University of Missouri released a statement saying that he is leaving to take a job on campus with the School of Education at the University of Missouri. So he will still be involved at Mizzou, but no longer in athletics. As I mentioned, 17 years, of course, known really as a big fundraiser, which is a huge part of the job. Also oversaw the development of so many sports facilities, and probably his biggest claim to success might be the hiring of football coach Gary Pinkel, who has merely led Mizzou to 10 bowl games in the last 12 years and 10 bowls in 14 years overall as a coach. Alden helping guide Missouri from the Big 12 Conference into the Southeastern Conference. He'll have a press conference tomorrow morning on campus, but for now, that's the news that has just broken this afternoon. Mike Alden stepping down as Missouri Tiger Athletic Director. That resignation effective August 31st. Back to you.
Chris, thank you very much. MU Chancellor R. Bowen Lofton also made a statement. He said, quote, "Though I am saddened that Mike will no longer be a member of our leadership team and leading our Department of Athletics, I am truly happy for him and Rocky as he embarks on a new challenge here at Mizzou. Mike will always be a part of our family."
Big changes today for dairy farmers. It could be big business in Missouri. KOMU8's Bria Love is in the studio with what this means for those in the dairy industry.
The Missouri Dairy Revitalization Act of 2015 passed today with a vote of 32-2. The bill will now move on to Governor Nixon, and if passed, it could greatly benefit dairy farmers. Dairy farmers could be one step closer to more protection. Senators passed the Missouri Dairy Revitalization Act of 2015 Thursday afternoon, and one senator says getting this bill passed was critical for dairy farmers.
The new farm bill passed on the federal level allowed the dairy farmers to buy into somewhat of an insurance program. It's not going to cost the state of Missouri much money. Gives these guys a little hope. They have a huge investment in their operations.
The bill will also provide scholarships for students wanting to go into the dairy farming industry and also increase funding for dairy farm research. The bill passed 32-2. One of the senators, Jamila Nasheed, wanted these amendments to be added to the bill for her to vote for it. Local dairy farmers say this is a very important bill for their industry.
2015, it gives us some certainty as far as knowing what we can look forward to as the margin protection program.
Brandt thinks people who are against the bill might just not understand it completely.
All in all, I think it's a win for the Missouri dairy farmers and ultimately for the consumers as well.
The next step for the bill is being reviewed by the governor. At a news conference today, we asked Governor Nixon if he would pass the bill this year, and he declined to comment.
Increased international trade might be key to help grow the Missouri farm industry. Governor Nixon met with Missouri Farm Bureau members today to discuss the economic benefits of increased trade with Cuba. Right now, U.S. restrictions force Cuban buyers of American products to pay in cash through a third party. Nixon says he wants to start increasing trade as soon as possible.
For us to put the first step down is to be a leading state, maybe even the first, to get down there to begin the trade mission to sell them the food and fuel that they need for the future.
If the U.S. restrictions are lifted, the governor's office says U.S. exports to Cuba could grow by about $4 billion.
Local counties are on the clock to beat a deadline to enforce a use tax. Cars, boats, RVs, among other things, may be bought without a local tax if counties fail to pass the tax by November of 2016. Callaway County is now trying to inform the public of the possible tax by spending time with civic organizations to promote the tax. Commissioner Jerry Youngerman says he's the most concerned for local businesses if consumers choose to buy out of state to avoid that tax.
It's not only about the revenue. It's about keeping the current business that you have, your dealerships in this case, or ATVs or boats or trailers or whatever it might be, giving them a fair shake.
Howard, Cooper, and Osage counties already have the tax in place. There is no use tax currently on Boone's April ballot.
Is it cheaper to live in Columbia than other American cities? According to the Council for Community and Economic Research, living costs in Columbia were 5.3% below the national average last year. Experts looked at how much $100 of goods cost to buy in Missouri. For $100 worth of groceries in Columbia, it costs about $96. For $100 of transportation, it costs $91 in Columbia. For $100 of utilities, it's $97 in Columbia. What the council found more expensive in Columbia was the cost of health care. For $100 worth, Columbia residents spend about $102.
More discussion today about the state's new higher education plan involving free community college for students. The Missouri Community College Association says the organization wants to continue its promise of free community college the state has given to students for the past 20 years. The program is called the A+ program, and the executive director of the Missouri Community College Association says it's important in allowing attainable higher education for students.
A+ program provides funding for students in schools to go and get free tuition for community colleges, and really it's based on their performance, their behavior, a variety of other performance factors that they have to meet in order to comply with the program.
Dixon said he and the Community College Association will ask for increased funding from the state to support the program. The higher education meetings will continue through June, and a new plan will be submitted in a year. In today's talk, we'll hear what you had to say about Missouri's plan for higher education, so you can log on to Facebook or Twitter to voice your opinion and see if your comments featured, coming up in about 20 minutes.
Measles continues to spread across the U.S., and lawmakers are looking at more relations with Cuba. KOMU 8's Michael Lindquist is here in the studio with today's First Nation report.
The measles outbreak linked to Disneyland has now grown to nearly 100 cases. 8 states are affected, most are in California, but cases have also popped up as far as Michigan. The measles virus is extremely contagious and can spread just by being in the same room as an infected person. Doctors say 90% of people exposed to measles expect to become infected unless they've been vaccinated. Lawmakers have announced new legislation on U.S.-Cuban policies. Several bipartisan senators introduced a bill to end all restriction for Americans who wish to travel to Cuba. The bill's sponsor, Senator Jeff Flake, says it's time to change the current policy. They say the new policy will bring money and new ideas to Cuba. And just days before the New England Patriots are to play in the Super Bowl, the trial of former Patriots player Aaron Hernandez gets underway. The proceedings were delayed after a juror sent a note to the judge. The contents of the note were not revealed, but the judge questioned jurors individually. After the judge instructed jurors not to discuss the case with anyone, opening statements in the trial began. Hernandez has pleaded not guilty to the murder of semi-professional player Odin Floyd in 2013. And that's your first look around the nation. Now let's take a look at news from around the world. Jim?
Today in Mexico, 7 people are dead after a gas tanker exploded at a hospital. 4 of the victims were children. At least 52 others were injured. Most of the hospital collapsed, and rescuers are searching for survivors. The mayor says the blast was apparently caused by a leak in the hose carrying gas from the truck to the hospital.
It was a gloomy day outside, and we could see more gray skies in the future, so let's check in with Kenton for a look at the forecast.
Brittany, it certainly was. We've been really lucky the past few weeks. Very mild weather for the end of your January, but now we're starting to see that cool down, getting more winter-like. 39 right now in Columbia, 41 in Jefferson City. Winds, it's been breezy the past 2 days as well. 16 miles an hour from the northwest in Columbia, and that's, of course, bringing our wind chills down. We haven't had to look at these feel-like temperatures for a while because we've been so warm, but now we're feeling like 30 in Columbia, 32 in Jefferson City, a little cooler up north, 28 in Moberly. Heading overnight, we are going to see some decreasing cloud cover, eventually getting back down into the lower 30s and even upper 20s as well. I think some of us getting down into the middle 20s here by sunrise, mostly sunny by that time. And then tomorrow, warming right back up and actually getting back up into the 40s. It'll be pretty nice for us and actually above average. Coming up after the break, I'll take a look at your weekend forecast. I have a timeline for rain and snow and some accumulation details.
Coming up, forget the cash or plastic. An app could replace your wallet.
And staying up to binge watch your favorite TV show may affect more of your health than just your sleep.
And you're looking live over the Columbia Regional Airport. I'm just guessing the large jet over there carried the Kentucky basketball team to Missouri. That's just my guess. It's 5:08 on this Thursday afternoon. This is KOMU 8 News First at 5. Coverage you can count on.
A new study says several chemicals may be linked to earlier menopause. Researchers found women with the highest levels of these chemicals went through menopause 2 to 4 years sooner than those with the lowest levels. 2 of the chemicals are used to make plastic, still used in many household products. But scientists say it doesn't mean the chemicals are causing these changes, and women should not be scared. And staying up to binge watch your favorite show on Netflix may have more repercussions than just a lack of sleep. A new study suggests people who binge watch television are more likely to be lonely and depressed. They found lonely and depressed participants spent more hours watching TV in order to escape from negative feelings. Experts say binge watching is also linked to fatigue and obesity.
After the break, is Missouri's higher education plan going to work? That's next in today's talk.
Looking for a fast way to get through the checkout line? A local bank is latching on to a high-tech solution to that problem. KOMU 8's Raven Brown shows us how it works and efforts to make sure it's safe.
I'm live off of East Broadway at the Boone County National Bank, where they're rolling out the Apple Pay service that lets you pay for things with a quick flick of your phone. Boone County National Bank will be the first local bank in Missouri to offer Apple Pay. Apple Pay was introduced last fall with a number of national banks, and Boone County Bank decided to add the new option for consumer benefits.
Our focus is very customer-centric, so really just looking at what do our customers want, what do they kind of expect to have, and Apple Pay, as being a mobile payment solution, is just another way that they can use their card for transactions.
Some customers say that this may cause concern with information being stolen if their phone gets lost, but one says he thinks this is a good thing and should not cause safety concerns.
I think it's pretty safe because most people have passwords on their phones now, so even if they lose the phone and they have a password that's pretty strong, I would think it'd be pretty safe.
Cardholder customers will be able to use Apple Pay devices at local merchants that accept contactless payments. Central Bank Company says this will be a completely safe option.
The device itself doesn't have that card number in it, so when the customer adds that to the device, it actually sets up kind of a dummy account number. It's what we call a token that only works with that particular device.
Apple has partnerships with 222,000 stores with Apple Pay available from a variety of merchants. One St. Louis lawmaker filed a bill requiring ID for anyone who uses Apple Pay services. If the law is passed, staff would have to verify identification of the purchaser. Reporting live from Columbia, Raven Brown, KOMU 8 News.
Earlier in the show, we asked you if you thought Missouri's higher education plan, which would provide free community college, would work. Here's what you had to say in today's talk. Leanne says, and who will be responsible for paying for this free education? Rebecca says, what about the already underutilized A+ program? I'd be much more behind this if that kind of financial aid were extended to those also interested in trade schools and any program teaching skilled labor. And Jacqueline simply puts it, yes, yes, yes. Join the conversation on our Facebook or Twitter.
They're taught discipline, respect, hard work, and teamwork, and this group of men is coming to a Mid-Missouri campus. A look at the group you might have first seen on NBC and why they're quite literally landing close enough to see.
As we move on into the weekend, we'll have a few opportunities for some precip, a little bit of rain, a little bit of snow. We'll talk all about it tomorrow morning.
Join us every morning for the stories that will be making headlines in the day ahead. We'll see you tomorrow starting at 4:30.
Once again, our top story, Mizzou Athletic Director Mike Alden will soon be stepping down. KOMU 8's Chris Trevino is live at Mizzou Arena with the details. Chris?
Well, the news came down late this afternoon from the University of Missouri that Athletic Director Mike Alden is resigning his position effective August 31st. He will stay on campus with Mizzou but move over to the College of Education where he will be an instructor. Alden has been AD here since 1998. Of course, known as an outstanding fundraiser. He's overseen the development of so many sports facilities on campus and hired Gary Pinkel, who has led Mizzou to 10 bowls in the last 12 years. Alden also, of course, in control as Missouri moved from the Big 12 to the Southeastern Conference. He was just inducted into the Missouri State Sports Hall of Fame in Springfield a few days ago on Sunday. We'll have much more coming up on KOMU 8 News at 6 and throughout the night on Mike Alden resigning as Mizzou Athletic Director effective the end of the summer.
We will carry the Mike Alden news conference both live and streaming on KOMU.com starting at about 10:30 tomorrow morning.
Coming up on KOMU 8 News at 6, we'll tell you how Columbia leaders got together with volunteers to help the homeless this morning.
And a company is forced to drop its Super Bowl ad. We'll find out why. Kenton.
I have a rain and snow timeline for you this weekend, starting on Saturday morning. I think we could see a few flurries out there, possibly about a 20% chance of that. Then during the afternoon on Saturday, mostly just rain. We're going to have temperatures warm enough for that. And then overnight, Saturday night into Sunday morning, everything turns into some snow, light snow throughout your morning on Sunday and even into your afternoon. Everything's starting to die off by your Sunday evening. And then just cold temperatures. I moved it over to temperatures there for your Monday morning. 12 degrees on Monday morning, but actually feeling about 0 degrees with your wind chills. So get ready for some rain, then some snow, then cold temperatures.
Mid-Missouri weather is always full of surprises, and we've got a big surprise coming up in about a half hour, right?
We do. Doppler days.
Yeah.